Hi guys, Eevee Guy here. Welcome to a new episode. Today I will do a bug type Nuzlocke challenge, and if you didn't see the last episodes, go check it out. This is going to be a special kind of monologue that I'll try to do. Each generation divided by episodes. So welcome to episode 3 of my bug type Nuzlocke. The rules for this challenge is, if a Pokemon faints, is dead and must be boxed or released. I can only catch the first bug type, or that will become a bug type Pokemon after evolving each route. Every time I defeat a gym leader, that gym will be my checkpoint. If I black out, I must reset from the last checkpoint. I will be playing set mode. I will use HM Mules if I need to. It's not really a rule, but you understand. My level cap will start level 15 and increase always 5 levels for the next gym. If it goes over level, I will put it in a box until it can be used again. This means this rule will bring advantages, but it will also bring disadvantages for myself. Of course, I will still try to match the levels from the gym leaders, if I need to, the ones below the level of course. I can't heal in battle, I'm only allowed to use health items. And I can't use Pokemon that already faint in previous generations. This episode will start in Owen, in the Gen 3 games. Oh yes, Owen. They introduced this 135 new Pokemon to the main series, and all of those 135 Pokemon, we only have 8 new Bug-type Pokemon. But since we are playing Pokemon Emerald, the Bug-type Pokemon you can have is this ones. Bug types are weak against Fire, Flying, and Rock types. And they are strong against Grass, Psychic, and Dark types. So, with a little love and patience too, of course, I'm sure we can lead them into victory. So, put a like on that video, subscribe to my channel, Eevee will appreciate, and come with me in this adventure. So, we start in Little Root Town, and on the way to save the professor I decide to choose Mudkip, so my rival can have Trico. Yes, I don't want a difficult challenge, at least not with my rival. Then I go to Route 101 to get my real starter, a Rumpel. And since I don't know in what this thing will evolve into, I just named it Toxic Bug. If it ends up evolving into a different Pokemon, I will just change it. But actually, after some levels, this Rumpel evolves into Cascoon, so I don't need to change it at all. Then I managed to evolve Toxic Bug into Dustox right away. Then on Petalburg Woods, I catch a Silcoon, and I name it Pollen. And since I catch it when it still was a Silcoon, it's more complicated to train it, because I need to use Toxic Bug to help it gain experience. But eventually, Pollen evolves into Beautifly. Then on Route 116, I catch a Nincada, and I name it Speedy. And now, it's time to face Roxanne, the Rock-type gym leader. She starts with Geodude and I go with Speedy. My plan here is to use Sand Attack, which we managed to use 6 of them, without any damage, until we change for Pollen. Pollen comes out, Geodude misses Rock Tomb, then I start to go for Harden. Geodude misses again, so I go for a second Harden. And this time Geodude hits a Rock Tomb, putting Pollen on 20 HP before our Oranberry heals us. I go for a third Harden, and Geodude managed to hit another Rock Tomb, leaving Pollen on 7 HP. How? It has minus 6 accuracy. Well, I risk it, Geodude misses a Rock Tomb, and I go for another Harden. Then Geodude misses again, so we hit an Absorb, and we take down Geodude. Next is the second Geodude, which takes the same fate, going down with Absorb. And like that, Pollen recovers most health. But now it comes Nose Pass. It goes for Harden, and I use an Absorb, making a crit, almost making half. Nose Pass then uses Block, so we can't switch out. And then I use another Absorb, which is healed by Nosepass Horanberry, then we take a Tackle, while I go for another Absorb. Then Roxanne heals Nosepass, and Pollen crits again with Absorb, but Roxanne heals again while I use Absorb. Nosepass uses another Harden, while I go for another Absorb, leaving Nosepass on half. We take another Tackle, and then another Absorb makes a little bit more damage. Then Nosepass finally decides to use Rock Tomb, which only makes half, so another Absorb takes down Nosepass. And like that we win the first patch. Damn! You don't know how much my hands were swearing in that battle. Well, either way, I go face next Brawly, the fighting type gym leader. He starts with Machop and I go with Pollen, 2 gusts takes it down, next is Meditate, which also goes down with 2 gusts. Last is Makuhita, and here is where the thing starts to go sideways. I start to attack with Gust, making a lot of damage, but Makuhita was also using Bulk Ups, raising its defense even more. So it starts to get more difficult to make damage on it, especially because of its Citrus Berry, and then Brawly healing it twice. And after leaving Pollen on 8 HP before our berry, and then 7 HP, I decide to change for Toxic Bug, which takes down Makuhita with 2 confusions. And like that, we win the second batch. It's not like we were in danger, but it was complicated for me. We have next the fight against our rival, and she starts with Wingull, and I go with Pollen. I use Stun Spore, and then a few absorbs takes down Wingull. Next is Slugma, so I change for Speedy, and then I start to go for Sand attacks, and with that, Slugma misses. When I change for Toxic Bug, Slugma hits an Ember, but we still manage to take it down. Last is Grovyle, so I change for Pollen. We miss 2 Stun Spores, so I need to heal with Morning Sun. Then finally we hit a Stun Spore, then I attack with 2 Gusts to take down Grovyle, and we win the battle. And with that, Speedy evolves into Ninjask. And also this evolution gives an extra encounter. If you have space in your party and an extra Pokeball, a Shedinja will appear in your party. So I name it Hollow. On Route 117, I get another encounter, an Illumise, which I name Misa. And now it's time to face Watson, the electric type gym leader. He starts with Voltorb, and I go with Toxic Bug. We take a critical hit Shockwave, and I go for Psychic. I use Protect on the next turn, then we take a Spark while I go for Moonlight to heal. We take another Shockwave, and then I use Psychic, then Voltorb self-destructs, making more than half damage to Toxic Bug. Next is Electric, so now I change for Hollow, which can't be hit by Electric, and here I start to use double teams. Then I start to use Fury Cutter to take down Electric. Next comes Magneton, and thanks to those double teams, it can hit us, so I put it down with Fury Cutter, which is strange because it never used Shockwave, which I'm glad it didn't. Last is Manectric, which goes down with a single Fury Cutter, winning us the third batch. Not bad, I appreciate what Magneton did for us. Then I go face Maxi. He starts with Mightyena and I go with Speedy. I start to use double teams, of course Mightyena still hits 2 bites, but we manage to dodge the rest of the attacks. Then I use Swords Dance and then Fury Cutter to take down Mightyena. Camerupt is next, and it goes down the same way. Last is Zubat, but it also goes down, winning the fight. Now it's time to face Flannery, the Fire-type gym leader. She starts with Numel, and I go with Speedy. I start to use double teams, also getting the speed boost at the same time. Then I use 3 Swords Dance, and then I attack with Fury Cutter to take down Numel. Next is Slugma, which goes down right away. After that, Camerupt and Torkoal go down in one shot, overcoming our worst fear and winning our 4th batch. Then I go to the Mirage Tower on Route 111 to get the Claw Fossil. Then I go straight away to Rosboro City to revive it into Anorith, and I name it Armor. Then I go face Norman, the normal type gym leader. He starts with Spinda and I go with Speedy. I go with 2 double teams, then I use 3 Swords Dance. Then I attack with Fury Cutter, taking down Spinda, Vigoroth, Linoon and Slacking, winning us the 5th batch. Going well so far, let's continue. Then we have the fight against our rival. She starts with Slugma and I go with Armor, and since it's raining, we can get a boost for our Water Gun and take down Slugma in 2 hits. Next is Grovyle, so I change for Speedy, which takes a Leaf Blade, then I use 2 Swords Dance, then 1 Slash takes down Grovyle. Last is Lombre, which goes down the same way after Fake Out of course, winning the fight. So next we go face our worst nightmare, Winona, the Flying type gym leader. She starts with Swablu and I go with Misa. I use Thunderbolt to make more than half, and we can take an Aerial Ace, so another Thunderbolt takes Swablu down. Next is Tropius, so I change for armor, which takes an aerial ace, then I use Rock Tomb to make more than half. Tropius prepares a solar beam, but another Rock Tomb takes it down. Next is Pelipper, so I change back to Misa, which takes a water gun, and then Misa is healed by its citrus berry, then I use Thunderbolt to take down Pelipper. Next is Altaria, so I decide to change back to armor to take an aerial ace, and then healed by its citrus berry. Then I use Rock Tomb to make half. Altaria goes for Dragon Dance, and it's healed by its citrus berry. I go for another Rock Tomb, but Altaria survives on the red, and use another Dragon Dance. Since I know Winona will heal, I use 2 more Rock Tomb to take Altaria down. Last is Skarmory, so I change back to Misa, and then I take down Skarmory with 2 Thunderbolts, winning us the 6th badge. Not bad! I actually thought this one would be more difficult. Guess I was wrong. Then I go to the Safari Zone in Owen, where I catch an Heracross. Fortunately. Welcome back, Hornbeetle. The last fight with May, the first 3 Pokemons were taken down with armor and the last Grovyle was down with Speedy. And then the fight with Maxie, he sends Mightyena and I go with Toxibug. Mightyena uses Swagger, but we managed to hit a Silver Wind, making more than half. Then Maxie switched Mightyena for Crobat when we use Silver Wind, but we get the Omni boost. We take a Wing Attack and then we can fire Psychic, almost making half. Maxie heals, and I go again for Psychic. Crobat uses Confuse Ray, but still we hit another Psychic, leaving Crobat on the red. We take another Wing Attack on 17 HP, before taking down Crobat with another Psychic. Next is Camerupt, so I change for Pollen, which is immune to Earthquake, then I use Stun Spore to paralyze Camerupt, then I change for Armor, and Camerupt gets fully paralyzed, then we use Water Gun, and then Camerupt managed to hit a Rock Slide, leaving Armor on 1 HP, then Maxie heals, but we managed to take down Camerupt with Water Gun. Last is Mightyena, so I change to Hornbeetle, we take a Swagger, but we hit a Brick Break to take down Mightyena and win the fight. And then more forward, Armor evolves into Armaldo. So now with this new power, it's time to face Tate and Liza, the Psychic type gym leaders. And despite the type matchup, we're still in disadvantage, with both having a Flying type and 2 Rock types. Let's see how this goes. They start with Zato and Claydol, and I go with Armor and Speedy. I use Double Team on Speedy, Zato uses Sunny Day, and then Claydol uses Earthquake, which only affects Armor a little bit, and then I use Water Gun on Claydol. Then I use Protect on Armor, and another Double Team, Zato and Claydol miss both. So I can go for another Double Team on Speedy, but Zato starts to use Calm Mind, while Claydol uses Earthquake again, while I use Metal Claw from Armor. Then I use Protect from Armor, then I go for another Double Team on Speedy. Unfortunately, Claydol hits an Ancient Power, leaving Speedy on the red, which is healed by its Citrus Berry. I go for another Double Team to see if I'm lucky this time. Claydol and Zato miss while we hit a Water Gun on Claydol. Another Double Team and a Water Gun on Claydol later, and I start to use Swords Dance this time to raise my attack, while I use Protect on Armor. My thing in here is that I'm using Armor to stall while I charge Speedy to take them all, but I need to be careful as well, so that's why I use those Double Teams first, but still you never know. We actually managed to make a double Protect while I go for another Swords Dance. Then I use Fury Cutter on Claydol, which survives on the red, then Zato uses Psychic on Armor, which also survives on the red, and I use Ancient Power on Zato, which also survives on the red. They heal Zato and Claydol next, so I use Fury Cutter to make half to Claydol, and then Ancient Power on Zato, which takes it down. Next comes Soul Rock, I use another Protect on Armor, while another Fury Cutter, now more stronger, takes down Claydol. Last comes Lunatone, so I change Armor for Pollen, while I use another Fury Cutter, this time to take down Soul Rock, which is the big threat. Lunatone uses Psychic on Pollen, which survives and heals with its Citrus Berry, Then I take down Lunaton with another Fury counter, finally winning the 7th badge. This was very dangerous, but fortunately we made it. Moving on. On the way to battle Archie, I got the TM for Earthquake, and this one was way more easier than Maxi. I used Toxic Bug and take down Mighty Anna with Silverwing. Next was Crobat, and here I changed for Armor, which takes it down with Ancient Power, although we got some hits with Confusion because of Confuse Ray. And last we take down Sharpedo with Horn Beetle, using Brick Break to win the fight. After I find Rayquaza to calm down Groudon and Kyogre, we go face Juan, the Water-type gym leader. But this gym was actually very easy. I just start things with Speedy first, using 3 Swords Dance, then I use Baton Pass to Hollow, and then Hollow took down every single of his Pokemon with Shadow Ball, winning us an easy last badge. Not bad. On the victory road, we have a last fight with Wally. It starts with Altaria and I go with Armor. Altaria uses Safeguard and I took it down with 2 Ancient Powers and then a Metal Claw, because Wally healed. Next is Alkidi, so I change for Horn Beetle, which takes a Charm, but that doesn't matter because the Alkidi falls with a Brick Break. Next is Gardevoir, so I change for Speedy, then I use the Swords Dance, same time Gardevoir uses Calm Mind, but since our speed increases as well, Gardevoir goes down with a Slash. Next is Magneton, and I don't even need to use Baton Pass to change for Horn Beetle and then take it down with a Brick Break. Last is Roselia, which falls with 2 Horn attacks, winning the fight. So now it's time to face the Elite Four. And first is Sydney, the Dark-type specialist. It starts with Mighty Anna and I go with Speedy. I use a Swords Dance while we receive a Sand attack. That is bad. But still I use Baton Pass to change for Horn Beetle to transfer the Swords Dance and we receive another Sand attack. But we still manage to take down Mighty Anna with Brick Break. Next is Shiftry, which goes down with Mega Horn. Absol also goes down with Mega Horn. Crawdaunt goes down with Brick Break. And when Cacturne comes out, we finally miss a Brick Break. But Cacturne only uses Cotton Spore, which also misses, so on the next turn we take down Cacturne with Brick Break, winning the fight. Next is Phoebe, the Ghost-type specialist. She starts with Dusclops and I go with Speedy. I know Dusclops usually goes for Protect on the first turn, so I go for Sword Stance. And I go for a second while Dusclops tries to go for another Protect. And it still gets a third, what the hell? Either way, we managed to get our Sword Stance because of that, and thanks to the Speed Boost ability, we get faster as well to take down every single Pokemon with Shadow Ball, winning us an easy fight. Nice! Next is Glacia, the Ice-type specialist. She starts with Celio and I go with Speedy. I start to go with 2 double teams and then 1 Sword Stance, and then I use Baton Pass to take down every single Pokemon with Brick Break from Horn Beetle to win the fight. Next is Drake, the Dragon-type specialist. He starts with Shelgon and I go with Speedy again, so I can use Double Team, but we get hit on the first turn by Rock Tomb. Fortunately we survive and manage to use 6 double teams and 3 Swords Dance, and I use Baton Pass to Hollow, and I start to use Fury Cutter to attack. Of course, sometimes Shelgon uses Protect to interrupt, but we manage to take it down. Next is Flygon, which goes down with Shadow Ball, and next Altaria, Salamence and Kingdra, which also go down with Shadow Ball, winning the fight. I'm glad that worked. Now it's time to face the champion, Wallace. It starts with Wilmer and I go with Speedy again, of course. And Speedy is just here to set up power-ups and transfer them to the rest of the team, using 6 double teams, then 3 Swords Dance, and I use Baton Pass to Hollow, which takes down Wilmer, Tentacruel, Ludicolo, Whiscash, Gyarados, and Milotic with Shadow Ball, becoming the champion. But still we are not done yet. We still need to face Steven, the former champion. Let's do this. It starts with Skarmory, a huge threat, and I go with Speedy to use Sword Stance, while we take a massive damage from Aerial Ace, which is healed by our Citrus Berry. Then I use Baton Pass to Armor, which takes a soft Aerial Ace, then a Brick Break leaves Skarmory on half. But then Skarmory hits a Toxic, poisoning Armor. So now we are on a timer. I use HM power to take down Skarmory on the next turn, which probably I should have used that before. Next is Credili, which goes down with a single Brick Break. Next is Armaldo, and on this mirror match I use HM power to take it down. Next is Claydol. Armor is healed by its Citrus Berry and I use Slash to make more than half, but then the Toxic brings us very low, so I decide to change it for Speedy again, which is immune to Earthquake. Then I start to use Double Teams, of course, then 2 Swords Dance and then Shadow Ball to take it down. Next is Aggron, so I Baton Pass for Horn Beetle, which takes it down with Brick Break. Last is Metagross and I use Brick Break to leave it on the red. And next I take it down... oh wait, Steven Hill. But I use Brick Break to leave it on the red again. And then Steven heals again. Well, at least my Brick Break leaves it on the red again, so it's time for Steven Hill again, I guess? Another Brick Break leaves it on the red and... are you serious right now? How many full restores this guy has? Finally we leave it on the red for the last time and then we take it down with another one to win the fight. And finally win the run. Damn, this guy was pissing me off. But well, at least we didn't have any tests on this one. I felt like in Owen, bug types are having a little bit more coverage, which is awesome. I really love to play with the encounters that we got, but I really want to see what I can do next with them on Sinnoh. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel, if you will appreciate, and I hope I see you on the next video. Peace!